This week in motorsports showed one clear theme. When the race gets chaotic, the best drivers rise above it. At Watkins Glen, Shane van Gisbergen was in a different league, slicing through the field from 29 seconds back to win by over 7 seconds. In NASCAR, Zilisch and Caden Honeycutt turned strategy chaos into dramatic finishes, while rivalries like Gibbs and Priest are starting to boil over. In IndyCar, Christian Lundgaard turned strategy and patience into a statement win in Indianapolis. Across every series, one thing is clear: speed wins races, but execution wins weekends. Let's start with NASCAR. This week delivered everything from dominance on road courses, late race chaos, strategy gambles, and few growing rivalries across NASCAR and IndyCar. From Watkins Glen to Texas to Indianapolis, the story of the week is clear: execution under pressure is everything, and one mistake can flip an entire race. Texas Motor Speedway, it was another strong showing for Toyota and Joe Gibbs Racing.
Yeah, it was. It was also last week's race. Didn't realize that was still in there. Bigger story, though, came at Watkins Glen, which was this weekend's race, as Shane van Gisbergen delivered what might be the most dominant road course performance of this season so far. After dropping more than 29 seconds behind after a late race pit stop, SVG carved his way through the field like a driver in a different category entirely, reeling in Ty Gibbs and then pulling away to win by over 7 seconds. It was his 7th Cup Series win, all of them on road courses. At this point, the conversation isn't just about whether or not you can compete, whether you can beat SVG on road courses. It's kind of whether or not you can even compete with him at this point.
And Watkins Glen also delivered in the lower series. Zilisch looked like he had another road course win wrapped up until late chaos in both the O'Reilly Auto Parts and truck races reshuffled everything. In the O'Reilly Auto Parts series, Zilisch still managed to secure a dramatic win over Jesse Love after a last lap surge, continuing his dominance at the track, winning his 3rd straight race at the Glen. But in the truck series, Caden Honeycutt finally broke through for his first career win, beating Zilisch and Shane van Gisbergen in overtime after a wild restart sequence. Honeycutt's recovery drive from penalties to passing the best road racers in the sport made it one of the most impressive underdog wins of the season so far. Over in Indianapolis, though, IndyCar, there was a statement being made.
Yeah, absolutely. This is the month of May for IndyCar, and it's their big Indianapolis month, and it starts with a road course race. And that happened on Saturday at the Indianapolis road course. Christian Lundgaard delivered a surgical drive to win the Soniso Grand Prix, pulling off a decisive outside pass on David Malukas and never looking back. Strategic chaos to find the race early when a caution split the field, and championship leader Alex Palou briefly lost track position after a pit decision that ultimately changed the entire race's outcome. Lundgaard's win not only marks his return to victory lane, but it also tightens up the championship picture heading towards the multiple weeks of Indianapolis 500 buildup, which will take place on Memorial Day.
And this week races a bigger question across all series. Are we watching the rise of true road course specialists separating from the rest of the field?
It looks like it might be. Shane van Gisbergen, again, has won all 7 of his Cup Series starts, won 7 of his Cup Series races on road course, including his very first race at the Chicago Street Circuit a couple of years ago. Connor Zilisch really proved that while he's had kind of a average oval season so far, he proved that he can still be the guy who won and dominated the Xfinity, now the O'Reilly Auto Parts Series championship last year. Truck Series put on another great race, as they always do. The O'Reilly race was the best race of the weekend so far. And again, for IndyCar, this is their big month. The month of May is their Indy month. It is huge for them. And it started off with a big, big show on the road course. And now we get into the week-long qualifying procedure for the Indianapolis 500. We got the Weenie 500 put on by Oscar Mayer a little bit later on in this month as well, before it all culminates on Memorial Day weekend with the Indy 500 and the Coca-Cola 600 for NASCAR coming up on Sunday.
Should be fun racing in a couple of weeks. And with every week that jumps off the calendar that we do on the show, one week closer to NASCAR coming to San Diego.